and right now we'll solve a few questions based on geometric progression. So let's start. Find n if the sum of 5 plus 5 by 2 plus 5 by 4 plus 5 by 8 plus up to n terms is 5115 divided by 512. Okay. So guys, you can observe that this is a geometric progression starting with 5. आपने half से multiply किया, इसको half से multiply किया, इसको भी half से multiply किया. So we have geometric progression. A is 5 the first term, right? Or you also have the common ratio as a half. Okay, हमें n find करना है, right? So on the right hand side, we have been given the sum. On the left hand side, okay, we have the sum actually. So on the left hand side, we have to use the formula for sum of the n terms of a GP. That is A r raised to n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. Okay, this is given as 5115 divided by 512. 5 ones are 5 twos are 5 threes are cancel out 5. Okay, and what you can do is, guys, you can reverse these two terms. You can interchange their spaces. So you write 1 minus half raised to n. Half raised to n क्या हो जाएगा basically, guys? 1 raised to n divided by 2 raised to n. 1 raised to n तो 1 ही होता है. So basically this will be 1 by 2 raised to n, right? And इसको उल्टा कर दिया, basically उल्टा लिख दिया अपन ने, right? Just taking the minus sign outside from this, you can take minus sign outside from this, reverse the two terms, right? एक ही बात. This will be 1023 divided by 512. If you observe 1 minus half कितना हो जाएगा, guys? 1 minus half is equal to half, right? So this you can simply write it as half. Okay. Now, guys, dividing by half is as good as multiplying by 2, isn't it? Okay, you can say A divided by B is nothing but A into 1 by B. It's as simple as that, right? So you can take a 2 in the numerator. Okay, or you can also take it on this side. Okay, 5 and 2 into 2 हो जाएगा basically. Half का 2 उधर multiply कर दो, एक ही बात है, right? So you'll be getting 1023 divided by 1024, right? Now, guys, on the left hand side, I have 1 minus 1 upon 2 raised to n is equal to, right hand side पे 1023 को मैं लिखता हूँ 1024 minus 1. Okay, divide by 1024. Now you separate the denominators, right? This is what we have. Okay, so 1 minus 1 upon 2 raised to n, 1 minus 1 upon 1024. So we have 2 raised to n is equal to 1024, right? And if you compare 2 raised to n with 1024, okay, you know that 1024 is 2 to the power n. Okay, when you compare n with 10, you have n as equal to 10. This is the answer. Okay, now this is one way, a very conventional way to solve this question. Okay, if you don't want to break your head too much, just apply the formula, solve it, and get the answer. Okay, I purposely displayed all the steps here. I practically would not write every step. I will directly, probably reach at this step directly. Okay, and then solve it directly like this. Okay, but just to demonstrate, I have basically gone step by step. Okay, now, guys, there is also one more easier way to solve the question. Okay, what we observe is, suppose I have the first term. For the first term alone, okay, if I have only one term in the sequence, the sum will be 5, right? For the first one term, the sum will be 5. Okay, if I take two terms, guys, the sum will be 5 plus 5 by 2. Okay, 5 plus 5 by 2 कितना हो जाएगा? If you observe, 2 5 are 10 plus 5 15 divided by 2. ये हो जाएगा दो टर्म्स का सम, राइट? अगर तीन टर्म्स का सम होगा गाइस तो क्या हो जाएगा? 15 by 2 में हम लोग क्या करेंगे? हम लोग एक 5 by 4 भी ऐड करेंगे, तीसरा टर्म, राइट? So 15 by 2 plus 5 by 4 will be 30 plus 5, 35 divided by 4. Okay, अब यहाँ से हम चीज गाइस ऑब्जर्व करते हैं. Okay, when you have three terms, the denominator of this sum is 4, which is 2 square, right? If you have two terms, okay, the denominator of the terms is basically 2 raised to 1. Okay, of the sum is 2 raised to 1. And if you have only one term, the denominator is 2 raised to 0, which is 1, right? Okay, that means if you have the first n terms, the denominator will be 2 raised to n minus 1, right? I have tabulated everything here. Okay, so for the first n terms, the sum will be k upon 2 raised to n minus 1, where the denominator is 2 raised to n minus 1, right? अब यहाँ पे denominator क्या है? 5 and 2. So just we compare 2 raised to n minus 1 with 5 and 2. N minus 1 is 9 and equals to 10. Okay, you can solve this question this easily. Okay, this method is called as the method of induction, which I personally apply in most of the series-based questions. We'll discuss this as we go on further. So, guys, let's move on to the next question now. A basketball is dropped from a height of 180 meters. After striking the ground, it rebounds to 3/5 of the height from which it is fallen. Okay, the total distance it travels before coming to rest is. Okay, so I want you to just attempt this question once. Just pause the video for a few seconds or a minute or so, and then you can refer it again for the solution. Okay, guys, so let's go on further, and what we'll do is we'll replace the 180 by general value, let's say x. Okay, and this fraction 3 by 8 को हम लोग replace कर देंगे a से. Okay, so the question becomes something like this: a basketball is dropped from a height of x meters. After striking the ground, it rebounds to eighth fraction of the height from which it has fallen. The total distance it travels before coming to rest is. Now guys, the reason I'm doing this is after the end of this particular solution आपको concept भी समझ में आ जाएगा, and then we'll have a very quick shortcut to solve all these questions. So let's go on further. Okay, so let's see, this is the height x, इससे ball नीचे गिरने वाली है. Okay, what I will do is at every step I'll calculate the total distance the ball has traveled, and we'll basically take the sum of all these values. Okay, distance traveled. Okay, so initially the ball fell by x meters, right? Now the ball will again rise up to, okay, eighth fraction, right? Before that, the total distance the ball travels now is x. Okay, now the ball will rise to 3/5 of x, which is nothing but a, in this case eighth fraction. So it basically rose to a into x, right? It will again basically fall by a into x. Okay, it will again rise to a of ax, which is a square into x, right guys? Okay, and it will again fall by the same distance. Okay, a into ax, which became basically a square x, right? Okay, उसके बाद आगे बढ़ते हैं हम लोग. Okay, again same thing, eighth fraction, again eighth fraction. Okay, and guys, you observe that this will basically continue infinitely, right? Okay, so now what we have here is, अगर हम guys ये x को फिलहाल अगर हम लोग अलग कर दें, okay, if we just simply ignore the x for time being, okay, look at the remaining terms. The remaining terms can be added to give you 2ax common from all of these into 1 plus a square up to infinity. Okay, this guys is nothing but an infinite geometric progression, right? This is sum of infinite GP, right? So this equal to sign denotes, you know, you have this equal to 2ax common into sum of the infinite terms of GP, जिसका first term 1 है and common ratio a है, right? So यहाँ पे we have formula, okay, a upon 1 minus r, इसके लिए हम formula apply करेंगे, that is a, this is 1 upon 1 minus a upon 1 minus r, isn't it? So when you multiply them, you get 2ax divided by 1 minus a. Okay, this is the value of the entire thing, the sum of the infinite terms of geometric progression. So now the total distance is हमने x को छोड़ दिया, right? So हम x में add कर देते हैं, right? When you simplify, take cross multiply 1 minus a into x. Okay, you will get x into 1 plus a divided by 1 minus a. Okay, this you can remember as a universal shortcut for all these questions. Okay, so if a basketball is dropped from a height x meters and it rebounds to the eighth fraction of its height every time, so the total distance it will travel in the process is x into 1 plus a divided by 1 minus a. It's as simple as that, guys. Okay, so let's go on further, and we now put the values here in this question. We put x as 180 and a as 3 by 5. Okay, you can further simplify by just cancelling out 5 in this case. Okay, अगर इसको मैंने a by bth fraction मान लिया तो ये हो जाएगा b plus a upon b minus a की बात है. Okay, ऐसे याद कर लो या फिर जैसे आपको अच्छा लगे. Okay, so you can just plug in the values. Okay, put ax 180 and a put x as 180 and a as 3 by 5. You'll get the value of the distance as 720 meters. That's